them, gather them. Again, you cannot understand rituals unless you go to the Word of God, study Revelation 16, which gives you an accurate, and actually this is the future, it hasn't occurred, this one hasn't occurred yet, and I call it the mother of all rituals, where the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet, in kind of a triangulation, pull together, and in this kind of unholy threesome, release demons out of their mouths. Luciferians understand this, because they acquire demons within them, and then when they want to battle something or something occur, they can release the demons out of them. Instead of conjuring them from the other side, if they've got many demons within them, they can release them through their breathing, through their mouth. It is said that demons, when they come out of people, even Jesus dealt with this with the mouth, they come out in that way. I don't want to emphasize that too much, because it's there's speculation there too. But if a demon isn't a person, when you command it to leave, do they just come off, or they come out of? Jesus uses the word ek in the Greek, meaning out of, not just off of. Come out of them. And we've seen many times when people were delivered of demons that were inside them, them basically screaming, the demon screaming through their mouth, and it's almost like they come up out of their mouth, out of them. Seems that way anyway. Well, they do the rituals to receive instruction and guidance. They do the rituals to let dark powers come into them and to be obedient to, so forth, to be used. They also do rituals to put dark powers in other individuals. Disobedient members within the brotherhood and so forth, they bring back. They do ritual stuff. They want to re-demonize them. And the bottom line is, they've learned and they know how to send dark powers. Satan is building an army of individuals, not only knowing how to acquire dark powers, but to send them out. Again, a counterfeit church. To them, a ritual is a prayer meeting. And they're releasing their powers against their enemies. Curses, spells, hexes, whatever you want to call them, ultimately, if they acquire the powers and realize that they're there to do the satanic agenda, which includes harming the church, coming against the church, corrupting the church, defeating the church, whatever, then they're going to use those powers against the church, which have been done for some time now. Again, on the shadowdarkness.net site on the front, towards the right, the infiltration, how Satanists have been infiltrating the military and the church. And it can't be done without that secret power, operating power. And that's how they're operating at this point. But you can be sure, like in Revelation 16, it will become more of a public thing. That powers, like, look again, if you study the Mayans at all, these ziggurats, they were conjuring the powers doing human sacrifices. I read one source here a few weeks ago, where in the last couple of years, they have reported anyway, they were down there, that up to 70,000 humans were sacrificed for some reason before they were ultimately destroyed. Maybe it was maybe again the judgment of God was coming, the flood was coming, whatever, and they was all about trying to protect and build up power and war against, and obviously the judgment of God took them down. Satanic warfare is clear. You and I as a believer, we can have warfare, we can have oppression, different things come against us, but Satanists, they now clearly, Luciferians, Brotherhooders, all the way back to the Nazis. Please understand, in my research now, I can see where they have learned how to do this for now up to 60 years. In the last 30, since the 70s specifically, they really know how to use his satanic powers as a weapon against the church, as an influence into military politics and other places. They're now realizing how, and again, they can become very powerful if they go uncontested. Bohemian Grove, look how secret that has been. I mean, there's been rumors of it all the way back in the 70s, but it wasn't until the 90s when victims started coming out. We had victims come to us and tell us all about it. and then right around 2000 is when Alex Jones got in. Others had tried to get in before, but eventually, and I think through the prayers of the saints, now that we've seen a peeking into this high-level ritual that is very similar to Revelation 16, and I want you to know something real clear. Bohemian Grove and the ritual done there is only one of many hidden exclusive places throughout the United States, the UK, and especially Europe, where rituals are constantly going on. Satanists love to infiltrate churches so that they can become board members, get the keys to the church, and eventually be able to sneak a group in, right around midnight and be there between midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning to do rituals in the church. We've tracked them. We've had law enforcement go in. We had one group that was caught doing blood ritual stuff with the Bible and ripping it up and whatever, right in the church building and desecrating the building too. But for many, they like to just unleash powers there to desecrate, just like in the days of Manasseh Kings, 2 Kings 21-22. They got right into the temple. Right into the temple. And if they can't get into the temple, they'd love to be in the woods and area around to be able to target. You got to understand, they target churches. They target pastors and leaders and Christians. Pastor Larry Lee from back, I think, in the 80s or late 80s or whatever, wrote a book, I think it's called To Pray With Me 1 Hour. It's about a book about praying with the Lord, spending an hour of time with the Lord. And anyway, in the beginning of it, it talks about, and he has another book, Weapons of Our Warfare, and I forget actually which one of those two books it's in. I'll have to go back and look, but I'm just thinking of the story of him being on an airplane, some guy next to him praying, and eventually, he's thinking the guy's just praying, Christian prayers or whatever. He asked the guy, said, "Hey, I see you praying." And the guy's like, "Well, yeah, but you wouldn't understand." And finally, he got the guy to phone.